So we'll talk Week 15 with Joe. This game, Bills Patriots, how big is it? 1 to 10.
I think it is bigger for, I want to say vibes. You know what I mean? It's bigger for the morale of the fan base, I think, than it is really in the standings.
The fans need the Bills to prove they can beat New England?
I think with Drake May and Mike Vrabel, yeah.
Okay.
If you're going to feel good about taking them down, should you meet them in the playoffs? Not that it's not like New England spanked them or anything. I mean, it was a sloppy game from the Bills, and they lost on a late field goal. So it's not like you were run out of the gym or something when you played them. But still, they're on this win streak. They have a chance to win the division with a win, like to clinch it anyway. Their chances of winning it without winning this game are still pretty great. But nonetheless, I feel like we'd like to see, at least for a week, even if it doesn't represent leapfrogging them in the standings, some semblance of order restored. All right, you got us in week 5. You're having a year here. Very few people saw it coming. You're out front. Been chasing you since week 6, and let's just hey, you know what? We're still around. All right, the champs aren't just going down without a fight. You're going to have to earn it. You're going to have to beat the Jets and the Dolphins. We're not just going away on you. And I feel that, but in reality, within the standings, I mean, they're not in much danger of. I don't think they can even fall out of a playoff spot if they lose the game. Maybe they can. I haven't studied that yet. Mm-hmm. But I mean, they're
over 90%.
Right. They're in such a strong position already that it doesn't feel like it'd be that damaging to the wild card hopes. Of course, it kills the division and the 1 seed and all that. And eventually, I think we'll talk ourselves into that being a positive. Because I don't have to go as hard because I'm not trying to win the division. It's got to make sure I keep, Indianapolis and Houston or Kansas City, whatever. The teams at Miami, even the teams that are behind us now, just keep them behind us, and I'll be all right. I think that's how it'll realistically be in my head if they lose. But I like,
No, go ahead.
But I do feel everything I just said about the, just don't roll over and let them get the T-shirts and the hats on Sunday. We're better than you. We have been better than you. We still are. And yeah, you may win the division, but this is going to be a fight.
Sorry for that noise.
Okay.
I just had a thought very quickly. So I have not been using like a playoff odds app or website. And the one that I know of the most, I like the playoff machine, but as you're talking, for me to figure out sort of what this game could mean to the Bills in the playoff chase if they lose, well, I'd have to put in, 20 results or something like that. The one that I like is the New York Times, the playoff simulator from the New York Times. And once in a while over the years, you can go to that link and it'll work, but usually it tells you have to subscribe. And I just remember, I just remembered that I did subscribe on Monday because I play all the puzzles now.
Right.
So I now have legit access to the what do you want to know? The playoff simulator. The Bills are 98%. 98%.
Right. So how damaging can a loss to New England
right now to make the playoffs? That is, if I asked you, okay, I'm thinking of a state. And if you got it, that's 2%. If you didn't, that's 98%. If you got the state, I'm thinking of a U.S. state. Want to play? All right, let me think. I know them all. I want to make sure I don't pick a state you would assume that I would be thinking of. Okay, I'm ready.
Montana.
Indiana.
Damn.
So the Bills are in the playoffs. We can do this 50 times if you want. I was thinking Indiana. So 98%, what are you worried about? What happens if I'll find out. I'll get into this. I'll dig into this.
I mean,
get my hands dirty.
There are, Houston and Indianapolis are both a game behind. Indy's got Seattle with maybe Phillip Rivers playing quarterback on Sunday. So, I mean, thoughts and prayers. And they've got a buffer there because Houston's in, Indy's out right now in the standings.
If the Bills lose, Bulldog.
Yep.
96%.
Okay. So
now I have to think of 2 states.
Okay.
And if you guess them wrong both times, then they're in.
Okay.
We don't need to play that again, but
Montana.
I hadn't thought of one. Maybe it was going to be Montana. 96% if they lose to New England. What are their chances of winning the AFC East if they beat New England? Not great. They still need.
Can you?
I'll get sure.
Can you access that
Sure.
in the New York Times playoff machine? I am not. Can you tell? I am not playoff machine guy.
If they win,
I feel like I have you for you're my playoff machine.
This game
sucks when you're not here.
I know, right? I'm paying $1 a week for this.
I could have given you a password. I was just trying
I
to
don't
that long
work
ago.
like that. I don't work like that. No, I would refuse. If they beat New England, they are 24% to win the division. Right now, they're 11. So better, but they still will need New England to lose to the Dolphins or the Jets to have any chance. And they'll have to beat Philadelphia and, Cleveland and the Jets.
Yep.
Or New England will need to lose 2 games, I think, in there. It's not what people mean when they call a game a trap game, even though a trap game has been disproven, but people still say it all the time. Oh, it's a game where you're looking ahead to the following week, which players, I think, almost never do. You're just on the rails going for this week. This is who you're preparing for. All of it is sort of in the now. But, trap game, sort of it's a fun narrative, kind of, I guess, makes sense. This actually is a trap game in a different sense, which is that it feels way bigger than it really is.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of what I meant.
Yeah.
Right? It's really all about how we feel out here more than it is seeing them in 7th instead of 6th after Sunday. And seeing their playoff odds dinged by 2% or something. Like it's not that big a deal, but I think it'll feel worse than that because you will have lost twice to that quarterback with their fancy new coach, and now they've won 11 in a row, and it's just what am I dealing with here? Am I dealing with the Chiefs early in Mahomes' career? Are they that good? Is he that good? It's going to start to feel, like they're some super team, and I think we know already that they're not. I mean, I guess they could just win them all from here to all the way to February, and then I'd have to shut up about that. But I just don't think that that's likely at all.
I think they're good.
I definitely think they're good.
And I don't care really at all about May's lack of experience. I'm not assuming at the least that he's going to crack under whatever pressure this is because of how he plays. I mean, they have had a very easy schedule, but he plays in a pretty composed way, and he can move, he can put the ball on the spot, he does the job. And so I'm not expecting him to freak out once the playoffs arrive or even whatever Sunday is. Mm-hmm. I'm not betting against May in that way. The Bills are going to have to score. Right. I mean, New England can probably run on them. They really didn't in the first game, but most teams can. I think there's that to think about or worry about. There's how May is doing, how he plays. There's that. Whether that's going to be Diggs again or Hunter Henry or whoever, Kayshon Boutte is a fun name. Whoever it's going to be for the Patriots, I guess that's part of the success they're having is that's not really predictable or has not been predictable. But I'm not expecting this guy to crash under the waves of playoff pressure. We did this yesterday, and I really like the coach's point that we talked about for a minute. That is maybe, if you will, the theme going into these playoffs is unproven quarterbacks, all of them, except for Allen and I guess whoever wins the AFC North at 9-8. and they're still proving to do if you're Lamar Jackson, I would say. But mostly the whole field is, can this guy win? Everything in football is like quarterback narrative stuff. This guy won a Super Bowl, all of that. So that's what Allen and the Bills are facing, because they're the one team, if it's not Baltimore, going into the playoffs with experience, and most of it is positive. It's just not when it comes to Mahomes.
Right.
Those games. I mean, they did lose to the Bengals the one time, but still, they're going to be the team. It's ironic, isn't it? Like, the Bills could go into the playoffs as the team, the AFC anyway, with the playoff experience that we like about them. Mm-hmm. Even though if Kansas City is sitting there, or, I don't know, not Baltimore, but Cincinnati, I guess would suffice.
Sure.
Then that isn't quite going to be the talking point. Well, not trying to tell you shouldn't listen to the game on Sunday. I mean, I would not want to do that.
Right.
1:00 post-game should be great.
It's just, I think we're playing for feelings more than we're playing for the standings on Sunday. And look, I'm not here to talk down about feelings. I'm a feelings guy. I want to feel some happiness. I'd like to feel some confidence that I can get to this kid. I don't think he's going to crack, but I could still make him make a bad play or two if I can get him under some duress. I'm really curious about the point about the whether they can run it or not. The Bills have been on a heater in that department since Shaq Thompson's been a more regular part of their defense, and I don't know, I can overstate that. It's I don't know, he's just one linebacker, but they have been better at that. Like, Pittsburgh certainly wanted to do that to them and couldn't. The Bengals, I think, gave up on it. They couldn't really do it, and so there's no shame in leaning on Joe Burrow. But I even said yesterday, if they could run the ball when they had a lead, maybe the Benford play never happens. Maybe they're handing it off and trying to run some clock and nursing their lead. And if they're getting 5 or 6 yards a clip, like we saw earlier in the year against Atlanta, then they're probably handing it off. But they really, I don't think they were wrong to feel like by that point in the game, that's not really working for us today. And this is. So let's just keep leaning into Joe, and it bit them.
It's really not who they are, I would say. Like in that playoff game with Mixon, they did do that, and that worked. Chase Brown is fine, but he's not sort of the traditional, I don't want to say bell cow like everybody does, but the bigger, control the game in the snow running back. But, point taken. We will talk